confident isn't something that you find, it's something that you remember.
Knowing that the average person out there is not looking for perfection. They're looking for real people to connect to. I love Winnie the Pooh.
Me too. If you found this, you're likely someone who's done the work, faced the mess, and is ready for more light. This one's about the brighter version of you that already exists. You just have to let her lead a little bit. Welcome back to the Better You Show. Today, the coaches and I are talking about confidence, where it comes from, and how to build it, and how to be okay with being you. So, coaches, how are we today?
Excellent.
Fantastic.
Wonderful. Excellent. Ah, I've heard so many people discuss confidence like it's something that's out of reach, or it's something that you either are or aren't. What do you think?
I think it's something that we gradually lean into very, little by little. So part of confidence is about learning to take risks, about learning to be seen, and knowing that the average person out there is not looking for perfection. They're looking for real people to connect to. And if you're a real person, your mistakes make you all the more human. So by taking a risk, we allow ourselves to be seen and or to do something small. It might not be perfect, but that doesn't matter. That's the beginning. So little by little, we build that confidence. And then we might fall down, but we get back up and go, okay, that wasn't exactly what I wanted, but it wasn't too bad. Let's try that again. And we begin to become more of ourselves. And then finding that being who we really are is actually quite okay. Yeah. I think that life is a lot of very small experiments as we grow. And that's how we grow. And that's how we gain our confidence.
From someone who had a lot of confidence growing up and then lost a lot of confidence through my anxiety issues and then gaining that confidence back, I think that we just confidence is something you also have to be aware of. You have to um, trust yourself. You have to um, go out and take some risks. And the risks is the best way to say it, Shelley. I love that. Um, and develop that confidence. We also have to pat ourselves on the back and laugh when we make mistakes, right? And know that we've learned from those mistakes, and that helps confidence as well, right? It's like I learned from that. I'm not going to do that again, and I know I'm not going to do that again. So next kind of thing is super super important. And um, I've learned lately that so your confidence shows your strength, and people will feel that confidence and learn from you. So as a healer, as a teacher, as a mother, as all of the different things that I'm doing, I know it's affected other people, and that's one of the things that's so great about it too.
I always say that confident isn't something that you find, it's something that you remember, and it's only way you can be confident in taking actions. So when you are, because the confidence is it's in your with your mind as well. It tricks you. You don't want to take the next step because you're not feeling confident, and you want to become more perfectionist. You want to be more assured. but only way you can be confident when you take that step. And it's like Coach Joyce said, it's completely okay to make a mistake or do something different that the results the way you wanted is not being maybe you're not going to get the result this first in your first step, the first action you make, but little progress that you make that will make you a little better and more better. And then that's how you build confidence because that the clue or the cues that you have built in the past, which today has make you more confident. So always remember that confidence is something related with trust. Trust yourself and take that next step and with that action.
The one thing I've really learned lately is that that what you guys are saying, confidence doesn't necessarily come before the action, right? I think a lot of people think that, oh, I have to build up my confidence before I can actually take an action step. But it's actually when you take those small little steps, right? It teaches your nervous system that you can handle pretty much anything. And when you break down your goal into small pieces that are manageable, right? Then you can do it. And each time you do it, you get that dopamine hit, you get that confidence building, and then you can, move forward, right? And strive. It's amazing. Like, I'm just thinking about when I was going to make my first video and it was just like, I don't want to do this. And then like just breaking it down into the content and then practicing and then, pushing, record and then deleting it 25 times, but then finally just putting it out there, and then at the end of the day, you also build resilience too, right?
Mm,
So,
absolutely.
yeah.
Beautiful.
Beautifully said for all of you. Those are all fantastic points. And the thing that I want to make sure that we bring home to the viewers is you can build this. You are capable of building this and for finding it within yourself, remembering it, as Sarah said. Um, so, what is a small action that you, coaches, might advise to help a client build confidence when they really don't feel ready?
I always ask my client because first of all, I take myself as a client because I want to lead myself and then I lead others, right? And it's confidence is also with the self-doubt. It's relate with the self-doubt. So you're doubting yourself. And again, like we just talked about it, it's just taking that next action, right? Just take that action, even though it's not going to be perfect, it's not going to be easy, it's going to be difficult. So few steps, ready to take the actions because you cannot be ready to be confident, but you can always take an action. So start with even I use that tool most of the time and it works. Mel Robbins, I love that tool, 5 seconds rule, that 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, because you don't want to be ready, but you just count yourself 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and just get up, move. That movement alone will rewire your brain and then you take that action or next action you want to take. And even if it's a micro steps, it's okay. Even if like if the whole thing takes you 10 seconds or 10 minutes, but if you take a minute of actions, you still a progress, like what Joyce said, right? So take that action and then go to the next step and the next step. You just build from that. And that's how you become you train your brain now you know that yes, I can do this. So next step's going to be easier for you. So you won't be anxious. You won't feel that all all those negative thoughts were creating clouding your mind will actually diminish and at the same time you're focusing on and you're exciting to take that next step. So that's what I would always say. Stop, pause, and when we're analyzing a lot, stop analyzing it and just take that action, even if it's a short or small one.
Yeah, I agree. I
Excellent.
agree with Sarah, Coach Sarah, on that. But um, preparing yourself a little bit helps. So, like Tiffany was saying, make sure that you have your notes or a little bit of notes. Not everybody's like me who can just do things off the fly, and preparing a little bit should help you take that action. But you still have to take that action. right? So that helps with the confidence for sure too.
And I was gonna say visualizing too, right? Like, if you can visualize a successful outcome and really feel that in your body as well, I mean, that sets you up for success and primes your brain to make that happen.
It is a lot about visualizing as well, um, we also know that if we become paralyzed by that self-doubt and that anxiety, and then we are motionless, it's funny how this other rule can apply, but, an object that is not in motion will not move. But an object that is in motion can stay in motion. Therefore, if we move even out of that step and take, 10 steps in another direction, we are moving. And then we can actually break that rumination, that overthinking that we're doing, that catastrophizing that the very worst is going to happen if I try this. Maybe not at all. What's the worst that can happen? Oh, it doesn't work out. You can try again.
So, coaches, I want to shift us a little bit here because um, we've given a bunch of really wonderful tools to people for taking action. But what if they try and it doesn't work out perfectly? A lot of people that I know will then beat themselves up and they'll tie it to their self worth, right? Like, oh, see, I told you I suck. I just can't do this. What's a message that you might have for that person?
I always say to my team as well in running an organization that this is a part of life. You're not going to be successful all the time, but failure is a pillar of success. So are, when someone's trying and they're failing, give yourself the grace and say, thank you. I worked hard. Yes, I did not get the result or the outcome that I was hoping for, but I worked hard. So when you recognize and give yourself that grace or that gratitude, showing that it is, we worked hard for it, then it takes that mindset out of you that the failure or you're feeling not being motivated to take the next step. So you worked hard, and that also builds confidence that, we have worked hard. We did this tryout and we can do it differently. Maybe we can tweak a bit and we can work around it. So that's definitely possible. So you look for possibilities. There's always a possibilities. And my mantra is always, I am possible. So keep that in mind. I am possible. And I worked hard and I just need to work differently and to find a different outcome or it is definitely possible.
Every opportunity, or pardon me, every mistake is an opportunity.
Yes.
One can look at what we did, what we've learned, and how we might go forward differently.
Mhm.
So, our mistakes are part of our growth. If we were all already perfect, we would be so dull.
True.
So
So right.
we would all be so dull, and life would just be boring, not worth it, not worth getting up for. So our mistakes can also be, in some funny way, our successes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And have you know about the concept of Kintsugi? You know what Kintsugi is? The broken bowl that is put together in Japan. They break these pieces of pottery and then they put them together with a gold lacquer, put them back together. And the concept is that the broken bowl is more beautiful and more whole and more strong than the original bowl that we broke.
Beautifully said, Coach Shelley. I just want to add one thing there because we were just talking about it. We actually broke a bowl a couple of days ago, and then my daughter said that Mom, we should just put it together, and like that Japanese art, the Kintsugi, right? And then the amount of love that you also put to rebuild it, the resilience for this, that piece actually made more real. I would have shown you right now, but it's still in the process of it's taking a little bit longer than we thought. But it is, that's something that we also have to remember, that when we are putting every what when we are putting something together, it takes a lot of love, a lot of effort, and like I said, take that grace, take that moment and resilience. And also it shows the beauty before the past, how it was, and now how it is right now. So you can appreciate both.
And Shelley, you brought up earlier the law of motion, the Newtonian physics. I'm going to throw another scientist at you. What about Thomas Edison? When he was creating the light bulb, he found, not failing 99 times out of 100, he found 99 ways not to do it. And another failure, if you consider the 3M was trying to create glue and they messed up. You know what they ended up with? Sticky notes.
Yep.
Because the glue isn't too sticky. It worked out perfectly. So it was exactly what they needed at the time. They just didn't know it right then.
Yeah, and sometimes that definitely happens when you go into a situation or you're feeling, really bad and you're losing your confidence, and then you come back out of it and look at it again. There was a reason for that happening, and why it happened, was good, really, um, for us, for our confidence, for our energy, for the person that we are, and, it's sometimes it's not about the result, but about the action, right? So if we're doing the action, that's maybe what we should be celebrating instead of the result.
Oh my gosh, that's like the growth mindset in a nutshell, right?
Yep.
And I think, like, if I could just stay in that all the time, because, I think a lot of people tend to still be in that kind of fixed mindset or beat themselves up. But when I am, and what's something that gets me up is that expression, and I'm not sure I might be not saying it quite right, but it's like fall down 3 times, get up 4, It's just like, yeah, absolutely. And all like you were saying before, Sarah, and I think Joyce, alluding to like a lot of the people that have been successful, right? Did they get the success right away? Like 99% of the time, no, they failed, or they weren't successful, but they kept trying. They didn't give up. They're like, oh, how can I learn from this? How can I grow from this? What am I learning? What am I doing? What can I do differently? And they just kept going. And it's like, yeah, stay in that kind of a mindset, if you want to get something achieved.
And be curious, stay curious,
Absolutely.
rather than being critical, right? So that's, I think it's a way of thinking, like part of growth mindset. Be curious rather than being critical.
Yeah, agreed.
So let's wrap this session up with something a little bit lighter and maybe a little bit nostalgic. It's time for some pop culture wisdom. Are you ready?
We'll find out.
Okay.
I'm going to get the coaches to choose a number from 1 to 8, one at a time. And I'll read a quote from a movie or a childhood favorite. And I'd like to know how it lands for you. Okay, so what you might grow from it or what you might take from it. And let's see what wisdom our pop culture heroes might have for us today. All right, who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay, Tiffany, pick a number 1 to 8.
Okay, I've got 3 and 7. What's better? What's a better one? Okay, I'll go for 3.
Courage is not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. Nelson Mandela.
Yes, absolutely. So I think it'd be alluding to what we were talking about, before, where it's like almost like that confidence thing, where it's like, you take the first steps, and then you build that courage, you build that confidence from taking that action in those little steps.
Beautiful. Who would like to go next?
I'll take 6.
Sometimes the right path is not the easiest one. Pocahontas.
Yeah, I think for me, that was probably one of the toughest things that I've had to deal with is just retiring and, the right path for me and what I wanted to do was not easy because, most people did to agree with what I was doing, with how I was doing. Just let's just quit your job and, move on, to something totally different that, doesn't give you a dollar figure consistently, and you have to learn it first. So, it's so true, but really what comes out of it or what has come out of it for me is so much. Everything from, seeing my granddaughter, my grandson being born, being right in that room, to meeting all of you, to, being so much more present and following what my passions are, doing what I love to do. So, I wouldn't change it, and it is what it is at this point in time.
Beautiful.
Excellent. That's so nice. Beautiful. Who would like to go next?
I can go. I'll choose 5.
All it takes is faith, trust, and a little bit of pixie dust. Peter Pan.
Oh, it's you know what? It is so, so grounding for hitting home actually. Um, the faith is so important. When you don't have anything, what you have is your faith. And have that trust. Trust your guts and trust the process. I always say it's important to know whom you're becoming in the process. It is that pixie dust is just that magical spell that you put it on yourself. Have that gratitude and grace, and be thankful and be appreciative, and that's the magic you'll spell on yourself.
Beautiful. All right, Shelley, are you ready?
Yes. No, but yes.
What number would you like?
7.
We accept the love we think we deserve by the perks of being a wallflower.
In the process of being, we develop a concept of who we believe we are, and that's attached to what we think we're worth, our self-value, and our just our way of being. So we think because of all the expectations that we have absorbed and made into our own beliefs that we are worth, you know, this much or this much or this much. And we treat ourselves accordingly. So we have choices along the way. We lean back against the wall and go, oh, well, all those people are better than me. So I'm just going to stay here against the wall and not take any risks because I'm not worthy of that. And I don't have to get hurt either. Or we can take that other path and learn to love ourselves for who we are and learn the value of just being ourselves and finding joy in being ourselves and living life and finding the glimmers and taking those risks. Because when we do that, then we are on our way to accepting the love we think we deserve. And we'll think that we deserve all that is wonderful. And I think that we all deserve to be loved in the very best way and to love ourselves along the way.
That was wonderful. Thank you so much. So just to round off the game, this is a quote that I adore here. Big Winnie the Pooh fan. So you are braver than you believe, stronger than you seem, and smarter than you think. That to me is making sure that the viewer, you know that you are capable of so much more than you think you are, and you are worthy of it. And I hope to take that with you.
I love Winnie the Pooh.
Me too. All right. So remember that your confident self isn't waiting somewhere ahead. She's already here. And I want to commend you for showing up for this episode. And that matters. Even when life's messy, choosing to keep growing is an act of hope. So if this episode lifted you up, pass it along to a friend who's been searching for a bit of light. We all need reminders that progress can feel joyful. Thank you so much for joining us for these conversations on the Better You Show. Discover your matched coach at betteryou.coach and keep shining. See you next time.
Bye.
See you next time.
Have a good one.
Time.
Oh, hey, thanks for watching. Since you watched this video, we thought you might really like this video. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe right there for more great videos. Plus, tap that notification bell so that you don't miss any videos at all. Comment your thoughts below and see you next time.